Very good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new lesson, lesson number 5 of the 9th standard. The title of that lesson is A Question of Space. What to do? What is that? We have a question in our mind, but we have to think properly that give a question answer, not simply giving anything. So that what is required? Our intellect must work behind this. So Neera Kashyap has given us the good idea for the education, what we must do, how we must act, how to behave, what is the shrewd idea that we have to have it for our education. And this lesson is based on the improvement of our education, so that I will explain to you summary, so that you know how to act in the time of our study of our life. Because this is more important. Every lesson is important, and this is more important. This speaks about the our educational idea of the question for space. Okay, the lesson A Question for Space is written by Neera Kashyap. The present lesson demonstrates or explains or gives the main idea how self-observation leads to a self-improvement and change in attitude. If you want to have your good attitude, then you have to have your observation in everything. Should not act as you see. Think properly. Wait for a moment. Let's take decision in your mind, is good or bad. Check it is right or wrong. It is also psychology based lesson. So it is a Manoshastra Pata. So psycho, your intellect must work, which suggests us how to control our emotions. Should not give up of our all the emotions. We have to be very careful to handle our emotions of our life. No? So listen carefully. Here there is a student named is Vikrant, the only child of a successful doctor couple. Couple is a husband and wife is called as a couple. Okay. Who want him to become a doctor too. This is normal. Every parents, they have their wish on their child. Here, that the father of Vikrant, they are the doctors. Father and mother both are doctors. They had a wish, desire that his son also would have been a doctor. Was a student of 9th standard, and his day filled with the studies and more studies, and his days only filling with the studies and studies and studies. Okay. His parents were constantly forcing him to study hard in order to get admission to a prestigious medical college. And that is what every parent do it. No? My son has to study well. My daughter is to study well. I don't know, here this is the right opposite I say. My daughter has to study well. Very few that think like this. Only my son has to study well. Because they think why that is a problem here. When they grow up, okay, only my son will look after me well. This is a false idea. Who says the daughter will not look after you? Check. And this is have to be eye-opening for us. Okay. This is a false idea which this village has. This area, this Hyderabad, Karnataka area has this false idea. Especially this Koppal district has this false idea. You come to our side, see everybody is equal. Boy or a girl. Every child is equal in the family. Even the husband and wife is equal in the family. Wife is not a servant. Husband is not a master. Elder son is not a king. Now the elder daughter is not a queen. Understood? So everything is the same. Okay. One day, Vikrant asked Anuj, a photo journalist whom Vikrant met in the jogging track. He was forced by his parents into his professions. Anuj replied that he took it up out of his own choice and asked Vikrant if he was pressurized by his parents and how he would react to the pressure. Vikrant replied that he argues with his parents, and walks out. Then Anuj advised him to keep observing how his body reacts when he is upset. That is what the everything problem has. No? When you don't want to do many things, which you don't like it, even your body reacts. That is what the question is here. Vikrant then started noticing that whenever he gets upset, his body starts clenching, mouth gets dry, his head tights at the temples. He left it when his parents put pressure on him to join the tuitions for the medical entrance. And this is how the problem of the student. Okay. Then the next day, Vikrant told Anuj that observing his body reactions and emotions was not helping him to solve this problem. Okay, this is not solving my problem now. What I have to do? Then Anuj gave him the most important advice. He asked him to express an emotion opposite to what he feels. You have to write opposite of the emotion what you feel, you have to act. And said that if he was hesitated, he should express as calmly as possible. If you are frightened, hesitated, then you have to calmly take it that to see that it can be possible. Vikrant tried Anu's advice and found that he was able to bear the pressure much better, and also noticed that his parents then willingly listened to his points of view and agreed to support him. See? On the contrary, you have to think properly. Not simply they pressurize you, you act according to that. You think opposite and try to do what you want. Okay. The next, thus Vikrant controlled his emotions and moods with the help of self-observations. He, at the end of the class, 9th, enrolled for a coaching classes for a medicine entrance exam with an awareness that he was doing the right thing. Thus, self-observation leads Vikrant to self-improvements. This is what, see, you have to have your self-control. Self-awareness, what you are doing is the right. Then that leads you to the improvement of your life. Let me read the lesson slowly. Okay. Despite maintaining a consistent rhythm, Vikrant found himself completely out of breath at the end of the 3.2 kilometer jog. His head pondered with effort and with the thoughts of the pressure his parents were mounting on him to gear up for the medical entrance test. Still a year half and half away, both successful doctors themselves. His parents were anxious that Vikrant ready himself to cope with the intensely competitive environment that had to be scaled for getting admission to a prestigious medical college. Class 9th had started with his mother's constant harping on the importance of the year for getting good grip on science and maths. For viewing this as a foundation year for a class 12th, for using this as a practice year for launching into the 12th board and the medical entrance exams. His father puzzled him constantly on maths, physics, biology till his head spun. The conflicts had acquired a distance edge ever since he had met on this jogging track. Anuj was not just a person with dynamic ideas on the photography, on the connectedness between human beings and all other living species, on self-improvement as a part of a human evolution, on the cosmos, on the world. He had turned into a friend very quickly, a much older friend. While reading a book borrowed from Anuj and experimenting with Anuj's old Kodak camera, Vikrant knew that his parents had watched his view interest with growing dismay. His class had watched his new interest. His class grades had dropped. He had started skipping group tuitions. Even the extra school classes designed for the weekends. An only child, as a tension grew between Vikrant and his parents, so did his identity with Anuj. Panting, Vikrant flowed on the concrete bench just beyond which Anuj was exercising on the metal swing bars ground into the earth. Nothing like a good workout under the blue sky, much better than any air-conditioned gym, said Anuj with satisfaction, leaping off the bars to drop on to the blade grass. Hey, what is up? You look grim, sad. Vikrant struggled and there was a silence. Then he asked, did your parents put pressure on you to become a photograph journalist? Oh no, laughed Anuj. I started on my own with the journalism and then took up photography much later to make the stories alive visually. Then after a pause he said, is the pressure at the home bad? Vikrant tried to shrug but nodded instead. It seems to me that the pressure is worse for children of doctors, perhaps because medicine is considered the noble of the professions and gives prestige. But tell me, how do you react to pressure? Oh, I explain, I argue, I snap. Sometimes I even walk out. It is worse when I lose control. Hey, but have you noticed how your body reacts? My body? No, not really. If you want to get control over a situation, you could start by first observing your body's reactions, your postures, body temperature, muscle contraction, breathing, the taste in your mouth. How will be that help? Asked Vikrant. Doubtly, it will help you witness your reactions as if they were happening to someone else. By observing your body, it is the reactions, you will distance yourself from them. This distance will help you first. See then control your reactions, said Anuj. Then why not observe your body when you are feeling happy or excited or adventurous? Why only when you are under pressure? Quizzed Vikrant. Sure, why not? Actually, our range of expression is quite limited. If we get familiar with our full range, we will become aware of all our habitual expressions. So the next step is to practice expressions when there are no feelings to be expressed. I know this sounds daft, but think if you can express emotions without expressing them, said Anuj. Like how? Asked Vikrant. Okay, suppose you get a news that you have won a free trip to the US. How could you react? Argued Anuj. The US, wow, exclaimed Vikrant, giving to his hands, body and face such an extended expression of a glee that both collapsed laughing. Self-observation helped in its own much sooner than Vikrant expected. At a dinner that night, his father asked, Vikrant, have you found out which is the most suitable coaching center for a medical entrance test? No, said Vikrant. No, what do you mean no? If you still have not found out, when do you intended to enroll? I don't know. I am already full up with intuitions. Bio, maths, physics, chemistry. It is tough. I cannot do tuitions. Vikrant noticed that his mouth was dry. His head tied at the temples, his body slightly hunched. Tuitions for a medicine. Entrances are not just tuitions. They coach you for a career, for a highly competitive exam. One wrong answer could make all the differences. It could be better if you turn your attention to investigating a coaching center rather than spend time with the jackals and the irrelevant things, finished Vikrant's father. And see you in the further things on the next video. Thank you soon. See you soon.